Alright, so since I did that video talking about leaderboards and I did that other video talking about my Mirage build, people want to see games. So I'm going to show you the last 3 queues. Really, it was 1800 rating that was my goal here. And I was trying on these games, but genuinely I'm like 17 games deep in this video. The gameplay is not going to be that great. And can I just say at the start, I don't think it's immaculate Mirage gameplay. And you're especially going to notice the quality of the games. It's very low. This is like off peak, and so the people I'm fighting aren't that good. And you're going to see how this build kind of is able to abuse that, as I explained before. There's going to be one really close game that I actually deserve to lose, and, well, we'll see. I won't spoil how things go on. So let's do it. We're starting off on Forest. Forest I really like on Mirage, because you have 4 cooldowns. You've got Phase Retreat, you've got Blink, and you've got Jaunt. That no matter what node you go to, you've got amazing kite potential, right? So, like, we're going to be pushing far here, but even if we went mid or close, against any kind of melee-oriented spec, against DH, against Hollow, against Rev, there's so many things that kind of get screwed by you climbing down and going back up as many times as you can. So anyway, on the cross there, you see that there was a thief at the gate. And he didn't, like, attack. I don't know why. He was just standing there. If I was that thief, I would have jumped off and got plasma. I got some pills from my ranger. We got a blast as well, if you noticed on the opener. And so I come here. So 2 enemies at far point, or they're close. It's terrible gameplay from them. They're both AFK on the node. You can tell that they're bad players instantly from this movement. The only justification for this, potentially, is if they're really good and they know that I'm going to push far, so they want to hold me on this. But that's another reason why the thief should have jumped on me already, started breaking some of my cooldowns. And at least one of these players should already be hitting me right now. They're not. So here I go for a Blink. I've held Jaunt because I want my leadership proc. We're actually against double power, so that doesn't matter very much. But it's just good sense to do that. I tried to Blink right as the last slice of the pizza wedge was going on, but I missed it. So now I've gone on the node and it's their cap. So I'm just going to throw out a bit of haze and immediately come up the side. Okay, so the warrior can't do anything unless he climbs up here, or he does a very special jump here, or he goes here and then climbs up around the wall. Or if he doesn't know any of that, he's going to go really long walk. He's going to do the long walk. The only threat here is the projectiles, so I take my target on this. You see I just retarget away from the warrior there. And this guy's playing really slow. He should have climbed up. He should have resisted himself or whatever. So the second he's off the node and the warrior's over there, well, I can take a free decap, so that's good. This ranger uses range quite well here. I can't really Scepter 2 at this distance. Nice little tool for him. Because my I can block and get a little bit of evade, but realistically, I can't get the Torment reflected back onto him. So there I go for a Scepter 2 on the Blade Trail. Miss it, but managed to get a very telegraphed opener from the warrior again. And I just climb back up the side. This time the warrior remembers that there's the wall jump, or he tries it, and then he fails. This, by the way, is an epic victory for me. I'm -1 on a neutral node, and I have several cooldowns up. It's very, 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 but mostly Distort and Jaunt, right? And I can kite back. This is really good. It means my team, if they're halfway competent, will win the rest of the map because they have a numbers advantage. And I'm duo queue, so this ranger here is my duo partner. And I'm not in formal communications with them or anything, but I can trust them to get kills. And so now they just snowball over, and it's like a 500-0. See the Wildly Impact? I tried to Scepter to it. But it kind of gets ruined. I'm not sure why. Here I go for line of sight around the side. The ranger's just kind of clueless. I magic bullet into stab, which is pretty bad there. Doesn't matter too much. I don't actually need to play too greedy for kills here. But what I just didn't want them to do is get the full cap, right? It would have been meaningless to give them the full cap. So, just takes it. This guy's in Rampage. So, when you're a Mirage against a Rampage, it's pretty much like you get a free kill. So, here I'm looking around on the right. You'll notice I keep doing that with my camera because I'm watching for the respawns. Trying to give Aegis to my ally. But they're shooting the body. I don't actually agree with shooting the body there. I think we should have all been on the Weaver. So, we get full cap. And I'm kind of misplaying here, really. Because that's Vengeance, isn't it? So, Vengeance can't decap the node. So, I'm sitting on the node like a moron. I'm watching my ranger for now, by the way. Most of my focus is actually on this. But when I was really idle on that, and I magic bulleted into Swirling Winds, that's like all rubbish gameplay. That's really, really crap from me. I didn't need to be there, and the Vengeance warrior can't decap anyway. Splitting the warrior away so he doesn't AoE us both is kind of nice. But anyway, so now my ally's low, so I'm looking for the res on them. And this is a good example of like the 2v2 situation I was talking about before. In theory, we can win this no matter how low my ranger is because I could res them. They take a retarget and my ranger goes on the nodes. So it's kind of ugly, but I can just kill this soul beast anyway. And the Weaver doesn't really know what to do. The Weaver could have been more aggressive with me. So here I take Distort Stomp. Probably could have just stabbed that, but I was scared of the Smoke Scale. Smoke Scale could have done a knock, and then he could have done the lightning, and I would have been interrupted anyway. And I'm still a little bit concerned my Ranger might be low health. This Ranger doesn't have a good matchup here. So really, this is just for me. I take a really early jaunt to get the 3 burns off, because the Weaver had a lot of might, so he was hitting very hard. And you can't always trust Thievery to take that might instantly, because he might be dodging. It's just better to cleanse there and use leadership for that. So yeah, anyway, I bleed him on node for a second because I'm anticipating a respawn anyway, which is this guy. And he's likely to come over. I can just harass him. So that's fine. And now, yeah, I'm just going to kind of hold Farpoint. I want to keep an eye on my party health as well and see if they collapse, because if they do collapse, I know that I'm going to have incoming. Or if they don't really collapse at all, there's just going to be a steady stream of enemies moving in here. So here I did actually pretty bad against the Soul Beast, and he got a smoke assault on me right as I blinked, which meant he came with me all the way up here. So it's very bad gameplay from me here. I duped him down and then came back up, but it's not good. And my team's been very slow about dealing with this other stuff. So I'm trying to get safe. Now, I think my duo sees me around now that I'm low, and I could have weapon swapped there to cleanse. But I went down, and there was no need for me to go down. I just took too much pressure. I got too confident. I mean, this is the thing. If you've noticed, that Ranger has, like, Signet as well. He's, like, Ferocity Signet. So, you know, you get overconfident. You think that they're bad players, blah, blah, blah. And then you end up overcommitting. So we don't want that guy to neutralize. So we get on there. Any really good Fireweaver can give me a run for my money on this. This guy doesn't necessarily... There I'm going for might. Honestly, the Thievery there was pretty trash. It wasn't very good. I would mind Rack now and Scepter 2, which is exactly what I just did. And, okay, this guy's already down, see. But any good Fireweaver would never go down. So here, I know you kind of want to stay on the node to hold it, but it's way too dangerous. Hollow coming in. He's in Photon Forge. So I phase retreat up the ledge. And he wants me, so he's going to go the long way around. And then the second it's clear, I come back onto the node. Most of this build is just getting off quick enough, right? Even if it means they get, like, the full cap against you, that's not good. But as long as you're alive and then they can't snowball elsewhere because they've got to keep marking you, it means the world, you know. It means that they're not going to completely swing your failure across the entire map. You at least hold them there. So anyway, yeah, just 3 kills on this guy. You'll notice the enemy team's got basically no points, no victories. They got double neutralized on everywhere else, if you'll notice, which I think is really bad. But this is because it's me and my duo here. Me and my duo farming 2 players isn't very good, because what we've done is we've left... and our duo's low as well, so I'm getting ready for a res here. You can see me mousing over them, but they managed to survive. You don't really want to match up too much when you're playing duo against bad players, because what you've done is created a 3v3 everywhere else, and the 3v3 is a coin toss. It's going to be 3 bad allies against 3 bad enemies. That's the world you're going to be living in. So we get a nice CC on that guy because of a reflect trait, I think, there. I was too late with my Scepter 2, and then he was very slow in getting more damage up. We get a good combo finisher with extra confusion and stuff. My duo cleans up a kill and then snowballs back. So, yeah, you don't really want to take the coin toss. You want to have one of the players you trust to be interacting on other areas, you know? So, like, it's overkill is essentially what I'm trying to say. You don't need 2 really good players to be killing 2 sort of poor players. You want to try and split up. So, once again, they're caught against the Fireweaver, which is not a good matchup. I know I've got a little bit of time before that respawn. So, I come to assist this a little bit. I'm waiting for a dodge before I Thievery here. And I really want to, but it feels a bit clunky. Anyway, they go down. And I'm pushing immediately back to the node because I'm expecting respawn. So this Soul Beast now could have debunked me, probably. But I think he's lost so much confidence. There, you see a big burst there. He got a huge cleanse. But that was like a really juicy Scepter burst. When you manage to land like the 13 plus Torment and 13 plus Bleed at once, that's crazy. When you get those point blank ambushes off of the back of Scepter 2, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so he's lost confidence in even going for the node now because he's been farmed so many times. So the warrior comes in. I need to hold away from him, pull back a little bit, give myself Aegis, make sure that he doesn't have resist on himself with a Thievery. I'm not sure if that's what I was going for. while doing this commentary. I was looking at something else. We see the Photon Forge, so we dodge his 5. And then I tried to Scepter 2, but he Prime Light Beams, which is unblockable, so he gets through my Scepter 2. So now I'm kind of smarting. My kite here is not very good. I should have kited towards the rest of my team and towards mids, because I've just gone into this respawn. Luckily, we instantly blew that Soul Beast up there. He didn't actually have cooldowns available again. I was late with my diversion there as well, my free diversion. He was so fast re-engaging on the map that I don't actually know whether he had like his heal skill and stuff back. So he just got completely bombed and died, even though I was on no health at all. So this is the kind of thing you can do to abuse these players. We did get decapped and all of that, so I'll just reclaim it. And overall, yeah, a pretty easy game. Not very much to talk about here. Our allies taking Beast for the win over there, if you notice as well. So let's roll on with the next one, I suppose. You'll notice here, by the way, on the end lobby, I'm 38% of my team's pressure. That's a lot. Oh, going to 40%? That's the kind of disparity you get. All right, so yeah, next. All right, so here we're at rank 2. This is a Capricorn game. Now, this is a game that I should have lost. All right, so there's some. This whole thing's RNG. If I'm trying to express to you guys that there's a lot of RNG here and not necessarily skill. But check it out. So we have a core Ellie. There's no good core Ellie builds in the game. There's really not. I don't even really believe in Fresh Air core Ellie. They're okay, but it's not a great build. There's like a Signet-y kind of Condi variant that maybe you can go for. So I'm not feeling very good. Also, I think we have a Firebrand with nothing to support it. So anyway, I want to push far, but this map's a special one in that it's so big. You're probably not going to get there before they get full cap. So with that in mind, you want to be careful about your cooldowns. Like, I definitely don't want to jaunt. I'm into a Condi matchup over there as well, and I already know that. But then the other thing is you're very open and vulnerable as you cross. This is like a map designed for stimmying far point pushes on the opener, right? So I tried to go around the right-hand side of the pots, but this thief jumps on me straight away. And I know I'm probably going to get more aggro, because once the thief's done this, any good player on the enemy team is going to take his team's target, and he's just created a team target. So I decide not to go for the far point push, as you see there. Change my entire mindset, and I look at their crosser. Okay, so their crosser is a Fireweaver, and this is very good, because my Soul Beast, my duo-queued ally, is not equipped to deal with that. They can plus it very well, but they're not that well equipped. So I decided to go for this. My Rev's even on the target too. But this is what I go for. My Rev being here is kind of really ugly. Basically, I'm marking this guy and countering his build, which is good. But the Rev coming here as well means that we're getting bodied in mid. And I kind of need to be at mid to Illusion of Life. So I look back towards mid to take it. I'm really scared of this because of Vapor Form, but he doesn't Vapor Form. I was also really scared. As I finished the cast, I saw the icon here, and I was scared that this Firebrand was going to Mercy or something. So now, I kind of can tell, right? There's the Illusion of Life that's going to make everyone play really aggressive, and they want the Firebrand. I can tell before I take this blink, they're not going to look at the node, all right? So I'm going to turn this into a team fight on a neutral node by porting onto it and taking free decap. The way I'm moving, this is kind of... it is very important for these fights, because if this ends up stalling out into a really long fight, that's the difference between, like, 25, 30, 40 points, right? Before the full kills have manifested and people fully have to disengage or whatever. So making sure it's neutral keeps us kind of blow for blow until kills come in. Anyway, my Illusion of Life ends. You can kind of look at... That wasn't a great Illusion of Life, but you can kind of look at it as it bought me time to decap, right? Which will buy me time to 1v1 over at this point before... getting snowballed too heavily. Maybe I can neutralize over here. So anyway, everybody starts dying, so I know that I need to disengage, and I want to neutralize this. I'm against a thief here who got a very early steal on me, and an okay cluster too. But generally, I'm not threatened. The thief can't do that much. Then I get plussed, though, and I don't even think I can get the decap now. We're so close, right? But the decap is really what we want. We'll try just a little bit longer, and then I think as soon as I eat Distortion here, I go to Kite. So this is an extremely strong Kite here, because the thief is the main thing on me, all right? The thief is, like, super going to be on me here. Some of the other people will take target to my Soul Beast because she's towards the node. So if you watch, when the thief steals in, or Sword 2's in, this looks like a Sword 2 to me because of the emote, right? He's going to land at the bottom, and it's going to be kind of annoying for him to get to me. He has to, like, jump and stuff. I get a nice Scepter 2. There's 5 Torment, which completely ruins his day. He can't kill me now. I would have died if I didn't have a good kite in mind here, and I did. He's so tormented and so pressured, he might even go downstate all the way over there, which is fantastic. So, yeah, I just hold off the aggression for a second and come back towards the node. This is now a 2v2, but it's a pretty staggered, tricky one because my ally has been eating a lot of heat while I was here. We kind of kite away from each other in an ugly way here. I probably should have stayed with them. I just kind of want to get on the Soul Beast because the Soul Beast is so much pressure. And then the Thief re-engages, so we're outnumbered. Really, if the Soul Beast kited up here, it would have been pretty epic. But so this is pretty dangerous. I'm trying to give pills, but I think I kill my... No, I don't kill myself. The Mirage has got me. I might have casted a Pistol Skin into Daggerstorm there, though. Again, I'll remind you, it's not like... I'm playing too many games deep, I end up doing a lot of really silly things. But yeah, so my duo is now kind of disappointed that despite the fact we were outnumbered there for a reasonable time, I don't think that long, so I wasn't very angry with my team here. But despite the fact we were outnumbered, our team kind of hasn't actually capped anything yet. But they've got kills and they're high health. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the kill that's over here and I'm looking at the health. And I'm thinking, do you know what? It's all right. So if I can sweep through on respawn towards mid and make sure we secure this, it's all good. I noticed a Weaver icon at close and I was scared because that would be a bad 1v1. But it was just his icon flashing back up on the minimap as he died. So we're free instead to go mid. This is a very low value fight unless we keep it neutral. So I get here and take free pressure on the core guards. And we do a really nice Condi bomb there. We're kind of getting jumped again. But I'm going to stay on node because I know I've got my Chaos Storm for a second. As you kind of kite out of it in an ugly way. Take the Phased Retreat outside of Fire 2 there. Actually walk back into his wall, which is kind of silly. But managed to get the cleanse on the weapon swap. Go for the big burst, but he moves away. So Bell is up. I'm actually not going to be that great at Bell. Or at least I don't think I am. So I kind of... So I kind of want the cap, but I'm looking at health and I'm looking at my core Ellie, who's going to struggle all game. So I jump forwards with the blink ready to res him. But he survives a little bit too long. So then I res him again, and I'm scared of Vapor Form again. He survives a little bit, and what I want him to do is come with me now. See, if I knew he was going to survive as long as he did, I could have had full cap right now. Then we both could have come here, we could have hounded this off, and then I could have rezzed him under double Chaos Storm. We would have been fine. But he doesn't come to me, I don't have the full cap, and the Illusion of Life my other allies aren't really going to maneuver much with, or he's not going to know what to do with it. So it's a bit ugly, really, but I can take... This is a strong matchup for me here, and I am more value on this than at the Bell, in my opinion. So anyway, we get his renewed focus really quickly. Illusion of Life triggers, and I look over there for that. So here what I've noticed is that as soon as that guy renewed focus, he dropped his second F2 really quick. So he can't get all my torment off again. So I go for the stomp, and we take a Mind Rack stability stomp. And just kind of watch the timing. You only get like a very limited time to see that. But we watch the timing, and what you want to do in that as well is check if the Guardian has quickness, because when they still have quickness in downstate, it really messes them up. So anyway, this is a hard game, as you guys will see, and I think I'm going to lose this game. I managed to make a very solid play in a second, though. Once again, I have dead allies, but no Illusion of Life this time. If I was manipulation straighted, if you saw my build video, this would be one of those moments where you can do it back to back. I'm hoping my ally reses with me. He takes a long time to do it, but I hope that I held the body long enough. On rewatch, I can see that I didn't. It's annoying. The guy put a bubble down. He really didn't need to put the bubble down. If he'd just rezzed much earlier, we would have had that on the rev, and it would have been very, very good. But so now they take the Bell. I've got the cross, and I'm outnumbered. So this is a 2v1, and we kind of have to 2v1 to get back in. We are almost... They almost have... You know, we're 1/3 of the points that they have, all right? And we have 2 deaths. They just got Bell as well, which represents ramp for them later on. They're going to win this game. This doesn't feel very good. So I have to make a big play like a 1v2. So that's what I'm going to try here. We have a Mirage and we have a Soul Beast. So I get an early Scepter 2. I go to Kite. I make sure this ambush coming in, I obstruct, which we just did there. We make sure we move back again. As soon as he's baited to go this way, I go back round, because that also saves me from this guy. And phase retreat back. And once again, I kind of want to just get myself to a safe position. So I move up and take a leadership proc there, I think. That was a really nice Scepter 2 there as well. And this guy's like super pressured. And he doesn't have the cleanse. Like I say, most Mirages don't. So this is really good. The Soul Beast aggressively comes off while Owl merged to resist and heal his Mirage. I don't know whether the Mirage realizes this, but his ally saves his life. The win for me, though, is I've done this so fast he can't get the full cap. So I'm outnumbered, winning an outnumbered fight right now, and they don't even have the full cap. And he doesn't think to return. So this resist will run out. I get another Scepter 2. This guy's on 14 Torment right now, and it all lingers a long time because of our boons. Now, as soon as this guy moves aggressively, I come back round, keeping line of sight here and decap. That's a very efficient movement there. And we get the kill. So now the game is to cleave this out. We don't care about the node. So we Chaos Storm. I wanted to Chaos Storm as much on the right as possible because you want the days on the Reza. But this guy was nice. He didn't move into it and the wall kind of stopped me there. So anyway, I move forward and I take a diversion. But you'll notice he has 17 stability. And I can't rip that with Thievery just yet. So basically, he's going to get this res unless I do big damage, but I'm not even on staff anymore, and it feels just a bit clunky, a little bit awkward. So I go for the pistol 4. I take the pistol 4 on this dude because I'm assuming this guy will res anyway, so now I just want to swap the target as soon as possible. But he gets a big cleanse, so now I have to pull out. We come towards the back of the house, and we don't get aggressed very fast, and I see I've got +1. It's turned into a 2v2. So, my ally gets the kill, and I help clean the body up. Then I help clean up this body, and we managed to get through this. So that's been a pretty annoying moment there for that Soul Beast, I think. For probably both of them. You know, we did very, very, very well there. We allowed our team to get back on the map, and everyone's pretty much doing okay. So here's what's funny. After that happens, this Ranger tries to self-res. And I'll often abuse this when a Ranger tries to self-res. They can cancel out of it, apparently. But I just keep just enough Condi on them to try and leave it going. The Chaos Storm's pretty stupid because it'll interrupt the pet, probably. But the pet's going to die anyway. So I'm expecting him to pet swap or trigger his skill 3 again. You could just leave a Ranger there forever. This guy doesn't trigger it again and he gets bled out or really long bleed out. And we've been having victories elsewhere. It doesn't look very good at close. This guy's down. Perfect example here, by the way. Okay, and now you watch, I Illusion of Life, this guy right before the stomp, meaning that we get this kill, this guy will rally, and we win this whole team fight. I want you to think about this Mirage build, what it accomplished, okay? It was fighting at Bell, it used high mobility to get to far for a quick decap, it fought 1vx for a long period of time, even scoring a down and getting cooldowns. Then it fought successfully in a 2v2, then it managed to bleed someone out and get a full cap on far, then it managed to race to mid and get a save the entire mid fight here with this Illusion of Life so that our guy rallies instead of their guy, okay? That's what this build did. Every, strength of this build was just on display in that moment of this game. And we're back in the game now. After that Ranger dies, however, and about now, he disconnects. You'll notice I'm not being decapped. I'm looking to go back to fight to 1v1 the Ranger in case that's what he does. If he pushes mid, we already have numbers here and I can just move over a second later. But I don't see him, and he's DC'd. So this is now a 4v5. And we're just going to clean it up. They can't win a 4v5. We're too good for that. So the Thief really shouldn't have aggroed on me there. He could have decapped me. But now that he's made me aware of what he's doing, he can't. So I go for the heal, for the extra mirror and the Chaos Storm and so on. But yeah, you know, that little moment that I just showed you guys, that's kind of like I think Fireweave is a better side noder at the moment. But it doesn't do all this stuff together. So the Guardian is a heavy cleanse Guardian, and we're already leadership down. And I'm just concerned. And I'm outnumbered, and we can play conservatively. So I'm going to come to the exact same kite spot that this guy struggled with before. I actually overshot it, and he didn't notice. If he'd stayed, he could have punished me there. But yeah, we take Scepter 2. That was really bad gameplay, to be honest, from me. I used Jaunt to cleanse, and then I Thieveried straight away as well. There's not many big brain plays here, I'm not gonna lie. You know, we could have paced those out. We could have gone one stack of burn with one Jaunt, another stack of burn with the next Thievery. But yeah, you'll notice I got numbers. You notice we have the whole map. There's not much more to say about this game now. We're going to get this node, and then that's it. We're done. That's the whole game's over, and it's the 4v5. You can see people complaining about it in chat. I guess I'll skip it forwards a little bit here. Here you go, we cap the node, we move forwards, we go for the spawn camp, everyone's in position, and there you go, that's the game 1. We're now 2 rating away from Legends on a game that, I don't know, I mean, maybe you guys think I did deserve that win, ultimately. It definitely evened up a lot, but as soon as that happened with that Ranger, the DC, and we managed to score another win. So there's only one more now, and then we'll see how the last game went. Alright, so last queue, and I wish I could say it was more exciting, but it's not too much. So the first thing I noticed, we're on Kylo. I like this map, but I look at my allies, and they're all people that I've seen queuing in recent games. Even on this video, you will recognize several of those names. Recognition's a funny thing. Sometimes you recognize someone, but you don't know whether it's because you think that they were a good player, an annoying player, or even you might recognize someone because you think they're a bad player. But I recognized these people and I thought it was okay. First thing I thought was, well, look, this is the Fireweaver that keeps pushing far. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm better than you at far. I will be able to do more. So don't push far. So I tried to ping him and tell him not to. And he does turn around, it looks like. He decides not to. I'm obviously outnumbered. So I tried to get on the node for a second, but it's not going to happen. There's too much symbol pressure and whatnot. So I pull up around the side here. Try to ward these guys off. Get a nice combo with my dagger-stormed ally there. This is a very weak 2v2, though, because I just have a thief. And, you know, they've got two very strong allies. So I'm kind of trying to pull out. I notice the thief goes deep again, though. So I just go for one last little push. I don't think this is going to happen, though. So I kind of want to leave. But then I notice that my thief is leaving, so I'll stay. One of us should stay. It should be me that stays, really. So, you know, as the thief leaves, the guard goes with him. So I start taking my free damage on this Elementalist. This guy was the core Ellie last game. He's now gone like full try-hard Weaver, it looks like. But he's not doing very well on it. Get a very good cleanse from weapon swap there that you just saw. My positioning on the ledge actually wasn't very good here. What I should have done is stand right on the lip so that when he Polaricked up to me, he would have stayed low. But it's not a big deal. He's obviously not doing very well on the builds, and I'm going to win this anyway. I get plus right at the end, so I get a very quick distort. Stand in my double storm as long as my double chaos storm as long as possible. Now I'm going to juke this guy. I'm going to climb down, and I know he's already death struck into me. That's where a lot of damage was. I don't know how long till he can go back into Shura or whatever. So I climb down, and both of them come. I was actually only trying to bait the Rev, but both of them come, and I instantly jaunt up, then blink to the node, decap them while 1vx, right as my duo, they just 3v1'd in front of spawn, so this was really bad gameplay from my team, to be honest. But now I can get this decap, take a free Scepter 2 out of the firewall. My duo pings this target, and they're absolutely correct. The Rev is the better target here. The Weaver will probably just, you know, kite for ages. Weaver makes another mistake, in my opinion. The Weaver can't really do much in 2v2. It can, like, dodge on people and move into water. But it doesn't have that much. I think if I was the Weaver, I would have tried to hold this a little bit longer. Get the full cap or something, I don't know. Anyway, so my ally goes down. So I Illusion of Life it. So this is a really interesting moment. We've got about 15 seconds to score a counter kill and res. After 15 seconds, my ally goes down. It's kind of nice doing this duo with a ranger, because rangers can just hide somewhere, go down, and then pet res is just insane if people aren't on them. So anyway, I think the Rev's still the target. So I go for Stomp here, but I get interrupted right as I press Distort. I'm not going to spend too long on this video, but if you rewind that, you'll see the interrupt comes in right as I press it. So I'm interrupted now. So I have to re-stomp. I take a tiny bit of stab as much as I can. And then it lingers a bit because of all my other boons. To try and stop any other stuff. My ranger's gone down here. I'm very low. And we get the stomp here. So that's good. The ranger comes back up. The node doesn't matter here. It's just giving pills for my ally. And making sure we win the kill. We pressure these extra deaths here. So we run for this. This guy, once again, is pretty much a free kill for me if I just keep pressuring him. There's not much opportunity for me here. There's no, like, objective. There's no reason for me to go ham on this. So I end up taking another target on this Mirage. And move towards the node. I want my ranger to leave and just go have fun and do things. So I'll grab this. And the ranger manages to get some good power pressure off of the back of the condies that I was applying to the Weaver. So the Weaver was just kind of flailing around. This Weaver's going to, like, BM me in a second as well in this game. They're going to say that I'm just spamming skills and that I had, you know, there's no thought in what I'm doing. But we'll get to that in a second. So anyway, there's another kill here. I target that because I was actually scared for some reason it was a ranger. I don't know why. And we look for the spawn camp. Then we see that there's a team fight. Now, there's a kill here, and I can Illusion of Life this in 3, 2, 1. There you go. The cooldown's there. But I hold it for a second. Because I'm wondering if we can just kill this instead and, like, manual res. If I got it down here, I'd climb off the wall and manual res with a duo, hopefully. But it doesn't land. and the player starts getting really low. So I trigger Illusion of Life, and look at this. They're 1% health. I have 50% of the cast time left, and I get it. Crazy. So, you know, I'm still, like, learning things, obviously. And one of the lessons I kind of take from this is don't be conservative. It's not worth the risk. And quite often I do take that standpoint. So here I've been concerned about the decap, by the way. You saw I looked behind, and then I looked back, and then I looked behind. Well, he's here now. I guess the previous time I looked behind, he was just by good fortune in the perfect space, so he gets the decap. I don't like this. The other thing that's evident here is you can't blink to this area. I know you couldn't from the ground, but you can't from the wall either. And the reason is actually because of this house. It's really interesting because later in the game, the house gets destroyed, and it looks like it should all be valid path, but it's not because the nav mesh is still weird because of the house. So anyway, I tried to take it, but I'm not going to be able to. So, come all the way around. He's neutralized anyway, so the only thing that matters is getting there before full cap. So we hold Jaunt. He wastes his Comet. So here's Swirling Winds. And there's not much I can do. I had my Scepter too. He didn't proc it. I'm expecting Swirling Winds to end about now. So I take an ambush and move up. And he's like LMAO spamming buttons. I think the guy doesn't realize that pretty much no matter what I do, I'm projectile oriented. So Swirling Winds is just very strong against Mirage. Here I did try to be on the edge, but he was more off the side. So he ends up porting up quite cleanly. And I get my +1. So we just kind of take free damage. Realistically, I want to be on the node and I want them to move up and take the free damage. But people were typing and stuff. So anyway, we want the full cap. We can just pressure this guy off as soon as we like. And now, what do? I don't know. I think I'm just going to stay at far. I think I'm just going to watch for any other respawns that come in. Bleed that guy out. Here you'll see I've actually mind racked. If you have clones and stuff up when they're downstate, it's always better to just mind rack them. Obviously, wait for the warlocks to expire or whatever. So that, because their autos with sharper images will cleave much harder than just the power pressure of the single mind rack at the start. You get max rot value if you mind rack nice and quick. So, yeah, you can see me doing that quite regularly. So there's a downstate over here that I actually kind of want to save. But I noticed it too late. And now there's a decap in mid as well. So, kind of a bad play from me here. My instinct even doing this commentary was to look back towards respawns. But that's because I'm not really looking at kills that are coming in very well. And that's kind of my bad. So here he counters my opening pistol 4 with a shield 4. So I can't follow it with magic bullet. I'm actually really concerned. When I see this skill, it makes me think he's a prot holo. But this guy just instant dies anyway. I don't know what that's all about, to be honest. But, like, I don't actually think he landed one animation on me. Maybe some of the reflects at the start. We take a Distort Stomp. That wasn't very efficient Distort Stomp because we could have decapped a little bit in the middle of the stomp if we just trusted in the stability. Anyway, I didn't stay to decap that very much, or definitely not full cap, because there's people dying. So what I was really hoping for was a double res here. In some kind of tournament scenario, you can actually put your players on top of one another as they go down and get like this insane value. So this is a pet res, so I try and go for the rev, but it doesn't land. Then I decide to just hold as much pressure as possible in the hopes that they'll stay with me. I probably should have gone and helped my duo, to be honest, and res the duo there. That's a pretty big misplay. But yeah, I'm taking this fight over at this node. I remember very much thinking at this point in the game that I could be making a big mistake here. That this might have been, you know, some kind of a misplay. Because you see how when I left far, yeah, I made a play at mid. But then I got decapped by that engineer, right? The engineer, I'm pretty sure it would have been the engineer, just respawned and went and dealt. I could have walked into that engineer. I saw I had such an easy kill on him. I could have walked back to that engineer, and I could have dealt with that. Instead, you know, I find myself in a very strange area of the map, and I don't really know how much value there is here, and so on. There's a temptation. Oh, yeah, okay, so this was a huge mess up here. Sorry, I'm talking about other things. Basically, I'm in front of my own spawn. I score a kill. And there is a lot of enemies here. I don't know why, but there's a ton of blue players in front of my spawn. Look at that. There's 3 of them. Holo. They were in stealth as well. I think Elixir S had come down. Rev, just to res this guy. So I die. So this is actually my death in these games here. But, you know, I don't feel too bad. Oh, no, I died on that Capricorn game as well in that wonky 2v2. I don't feel too bad because they invested so much. Like, look at them. They're not an objective. They're trying to, like, farm kills, but check it out. My respawns are outnumbered right now. Right, so my respawns are outnumbered and they have a kill. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've got to get there quickly. So right on the spawn, I blink in base and jaunt in base because all I'm trying to do is close the gap right now to Illusion of Life if one of my guys goes down or start interrupting, which is why the Chaos Storm goes up instantly. And we just cleave as hard as possible. Stay on the Rev here is a good target. This guy's low. Oh, yeah, this is what I was looking at. They're both low. And I was thinking, okay, who do I want to res? Who's actually going to go down? And I favor on the left here because my Revenant has less hard disengage compared to my Thief. My Thief could stealth and be okay. That's what I reason. Also, Rev is safer. I'm thinking about this now in post-commentary. I didn't at the time. But Rev is probably safer to Illusion of Life because a Thief might reposition away from your Illusion of Life with his downstate 2, while a Rev's downstate 2 just leaves him in the same position. There's not so much risk. Anyway, as it turns out, neither of them needed a res. I stay for the full cap. That's my role. And we've got a very good point cushion here. Even though that kind of throw there, we've got a good point cushion. I notice there's a fight here, so look over here. I give him a Chaos Storm. If he wants to walk into it, he'll get boons, he'll get Aegis and stuff. The Rev goes for a disengage. So I talked about this. There's not much chase on this build, all right? This guy had a lot of energy, and like, look at that. He used Star 5, he used Shiro dodge, he used regular dodge, he used all kinds of stuff. You can't chase very well on this. So, like, quite often you'll notice I'm very passive when I kite, but you shouldn't misinterpret that. This isn't like a lot of other builds. Because often you'll just put yourself into dangerous situations for very limited kill potential. You want to be sort of squatted down on a place. So anyway, we come up towards mid. I'm not actually sure why the Rev didn't decap me. I thought I was going to get decapped there. Take an Illusion of Life to make sure that this team fight wins. And a Distort Stomp. Again, the node is almost capped in their favor, but it's neutral, so it's a high-value fight. We're getting some kills. Take the Jaunt before any of them can, you know, get on there and get that last tick, and then the whole thing's a bit iffy. And now I will take the cap until I see someone's low health. So you see I'm swinging the camera around right now. I'm mostly just looking at my allies' positioning and their health bars. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at who they're aggressive and I'm looking at who's getting low so that I'll get off nice and quick if they need it. This guy, I just tried to throw a Chaos Storm. It's a firebrand though, so whatever. The Weaver gets back on the node. So I climb up with him. And he once again is going to be in this kind of tricky matchup. He did good to at least realize he couldn't win and then moved away. Here I see Primordial stances up and whatnot, so I kite off, and then I get back on the node before he fully decaps. Do you see that? If the Weaver has kind of a choice when I leave like that, he can chase hard, and he has some potential there, but then he also doesn't decap if he does that. I was pretty bad with my footwork there, though, falling off and letting him decap me on that. Did he lightning flash into the center of the node? Actually, I didn't see. I think I was just kind of bad. And he knew the kite spot there, at least. So, you know, I don't think he's a bad player. He's basically standing on a wall. So here, I was going to go an Illusion of Life. You see, I climbed off the ledge. I looked for the Illusion of Life. But then I saw that they won the fight anyway, or it seems like it's clean. So I just take another glance back, and now I know I can take this for free. We've basically 3-capped them now. If you look at the map, we have enough kills, enough bleed. We've got big bleed value on that Weaver again. We've won that other fight. My team's doing okay. And this is what I said at the start. You know, I recognized a lot of names. I didn't really recognize a lot of names on the other team. I recognized some. But, you know, I was just feeling confident about this Kylo. It was not a very climactic or interesting Kylo at the end. He's taking a nice kite. I don't really need to be that aggressive. I just want to make sure that I'm clean in mid. Go for Magic Bullet right as my ally moves on. Would have been quite nice, but it said missed. It didn't actually miss. Well, I guess, yeah. Missing is both blind and literally they sidestep or whatever. But you see, we get the kill. That was actually credited to us there, funnily enough, with confusion. And now I kind of want to snowball to far, but I also see that they have respawns because I'm looking over the wall. So I move towards this Mirage. I take the Warlocks and try and get back through the wall so that his Warlocks are obstructed. But he's on focus or something. I don't know why you'd run focus. But we just Condi bombed him like mad. He takes massive gap close. And so I take some as well. He torments me, so I put it on him. I could have weapon swapped as well, but I wanted it on him. Then he uses Nullfield. Nullfield is a crazy, crazy skill. I don't know what kind of horrendous build that is. But, like, that's the thing. That's what a lot of Mirages just don't know what they're doing. They, like, run Signets and stuff. It's, honestly... Anyway, not that guy is. But there you go. That's 4-9. That's the win, basically. So there you have it. I wish I could say that they were a bit more interesting. Some of the ones earlier were a little bit more interesting as well, but digging through those files, I don't know what we would have seen. Once again, we got reasonably good damage there. Damn, I'm not looking at the stats screen. But we did okay. Anyway, there you go. 22%, 14 and 1. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much for watching. And hope you learned a little something. I'll see you for another one whenever. I don't really have many plans for Game of the Day at the moment, but this was pretty fun to show off.